Welcome back. Let's go.
Cannibal CMEs headed towards the Earth. And here's a look at the ionosphere, showing that energy is definitely making contact with the Earth. Earth essentially being devoured by all of those charged particles from the sun, causing radio blackouts in the higher latitudes. Here's what's coming our way. This is called a cannibal CME.
So we are back. And I have a few things to show you today. But first, let's talk about this cannibal CME. Now, this is my first time hearing about energy so strong that they've named it cannibal. So that's kind of interesting. But I do know that the energy coming off the sun is very, very strong. Have you guys seen the Schumann resonance on this day? Yeah, and then it hit again on the 14th. Check it out.
Photo by a real person. G-Man out of Central Arkansas looked up and saw this in the daytime sky. You cannot make this stuff up. Here's a close-up view of what he noticed in the daytime sky.
Now, I really like Mr. MBB. He has been on YouTube for a very, very, very long time. He's always pointing out anomalies in the sky. He calls himself the Sky Watcher, which is very interesting. And he has people from all around the world who send him very, very, very interesting videos. So you may see me talk about him from time to time. But this photo was a very captivating capture that made me go out today and look in the sky myself to see what I could see. And you get out there and you see all type of stuff. It's very, very cloudy today. As a matter of fact, it is raining really, really bad right now. But I saw like a hand in the sky, and I saw like an eagle cloud, a cloud that was shaped like a eagle with his wings out. It's very nice, very peaceful. Before it, of course, started raining.
Y'all see that? Look what's going on in these clouds. Is this what Nope was telling us? Huh? Is this what Nope was telling us? But do you see the rings around it? Why is there a huge spherical object there? And it looks like it's got rings around it. Do you see that, y'all? This is Texas. Look, and then that purple plasma just bouncing off like crazy. Just charging. What is going on, y'all? Look, now I zoomed in for you guys just to have a closer look, but look at that, y'all. Oh man, yeah, it's definitely something there. Wow, you can see the sharp edges. Is that Saturn, y'all? What? Is that the mothership? And the huge spherical thing, this huge spherical object, just huge, just sitting there in the clouds. And there's other clouds around it. You can see like there's a first layer of clouds when the lightning flashes, and it's behind other clouds, y'all. Look at that. That's crazy. Woo! What a time to be alive. Wow. What is going on, y'all? So what do you guys think about that video? So many things popped up in my head. Saturn, Nibiru, the mothership, so many things popped. The black hole, black sun, so many things, y'all.
A lot of things popped into my head as well. Okay, I'm not real sure about Saturn. Not to take away anything from Conscious Juice. This brother is great, but the dome was very interesting, and the lightning behind it, or that surrounded it, was quite interesting as well. So you guys tell me what you think. What all came to mind when you were observing the lightning and what was being shown as the storm was going on?
Check that out. These are slight modifications I did to the original video to pull forward this huge feature in the sky that clearly doesn't look natural. That looks like some sort of a large craft, or maybe there was a large craft in the sky at one time above Crystal River, Florida, just a few days ago. Like I said, 2024 has been a very busy year so far in the skies above Florida, and it looks like it is remaining that way. The trend continues. This thing here is highly mysterious. This is obviously what compelled her to take the photo of the sky, was what looked like a huge donut or a tire up in the sky. That doesn't look natural. It looks like it's of intelligent origins, whatever it may be. These are all just simply modified versions. I was just trying to get a better look at whatever this was in the sky above Crystal River, Florida, and whatever it was huge.
Yeah, this is not the first time that I have seen this photo. I'm not real sure what was going on in the sky that day. It's quite, I don't know, it's quite a sight to be seen, I'll tell you that. I do not necessarily believe that it's just clouds in the sky. I definitely believe that there is something else going on. Now, what that is, I guess, we can leave it up to our imagination, because we're not sure, right?
This is real. Us Americans better stick together. That thing is a potential weapon, period.
So let's talk about this invisibility cloak, okay? I'm not real sure about y'all, but I do not want to be, let's say I don't want to have to deal with someone who has one of these things. I mean, if it's not available to everybody, then don't make it available at all, because this could potentially become a huge problem.
You guys know how history is written in order to favor the victor? This is why they say the pen is mightier than the sword. Well, get ready, because history is about to change again. Allegedly, Disney just bought the rights to the Bible. How do you do that? But check this video out.
I just read an article about the Disney company buying the rights to the Bible. Yep, the Bible. Check this out. The original intent of the $7.2 billion purchase was to produce this Bible series. However, the story began to thicken when they purchased the rights to the NIV as well as the RSV. You'll never guess what happened next. Matthew 17:21 was completely deleted from both versions. Look, but this kind of demon does not go out except by prayer and fasting. It's not there. It literally skips from 20 to 22 in both versions. This is exactly why it's vitally important to study the word and know it for yourself. If they take it away, you need to know what it says. If they change it, you need to know what it says.
And those of us who know how fasting and prayer works, we know how great it is for mind, body, and soul.
Really? Here we go with them buying things or taking things or claiming control of things and then going and changing it. But watch this.
Was this empire highly advanced? This empire existed in modern day Russia, but now historians stuff like, no, it didn't. Well, guess what? There's a document from the CIA about Soviet Russia and the impacts of communism with the changing and racing of history. And they talk about Tartaria. It says, or let us take the matter of history, the core of a people's cultural heritage. For example, the Central Committee of the Communist Party issued a directive ordering the parties to proceed to the scientific revision of the history of of Tartaria. Tartar history was to be falsified in order to eliminate references to hide the fact of the real course of the Tartar-Russian relations.
What does that all mean?
So basically,
It existed.
That just made me freak out a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about the Native Americans and like how developed they were and like how they're connected to people groups from all over the world. But the Smithsonian's like, no, we're going to write history like this. They were isolated and dumb.
Yeah, it can't be vindicated because it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So, of course, we continue to see how things are bought, in particularly historical things or things from history, and changed. And then, of course, fed back to the people as something totally different than what it actually was. Here is another clip that is proof that not only has the Bible been rewritten many a times, here we are where we have text, ancient text, that says one thing, but we are told something different.
Trying to change history again. You know what this reminds me of? The Book of Eli.
Book. I need that book. I mean, I want the book. And you. But if you make me choose, I'll kill you. I'll take the book.
But now they're changing the book.
Why? Why do you want it? I grew up with it. I know its power. And if you read it, then so do you. That's why they burned them all after the war. That's just staying alive is an act of faith. Building this town is an even bigger act of faith, but they don't understand that. None of them. And I don't have the right words to help them, but the book does.
Ah, yes, the Book of Eli. That movie was very, very good. But I do have to say, this in particular clip, I never thought it would be so true.
Believe that Christianity was spread by love and the good news, and no. It was spread by rape, bloodshed, murdering, and killing.
Crusades.
And so when they came to your town, they literally would take your women and your children. They would take the leader of that village or whatever. They would show, hey, you guys are going to bow down to us. You're going to follow this religion. You're going to speak our language. And they'll make an example out of somebody, and then everybody else would follow suit. And if they didn't, then they would say, okay, we're going to give you a lot of these torture devices. They would have the Pope's spear, all right, which is still in the museums right now. Which they would stick that into a woman's personal parts, and it would explode on the inside of her. They would have this triangular pyramid with a spire on top, and it would reel a man up and down and let it go up into his back door over and over again until he died. They had all these torture mechanisms. They tortured and killed over 80 million people over the course of 700 years under the order of the popes. People believe that Christianity was...
Have you guys ever heard of the story of when they brought the slaves over, they didn't want them to continue their culture. So they kind of forced them into Christianity, and the slave owners or slave masters were paid or threatened if they didn't convert their slaves over. This is kind of what that reminded me of with this clip of Billy Carson and him talking about, what Christianity really was, even though it was probably written that way. As we can see, that was probably changed and force-fed to us in a different way.
I admit, I've had to do things, many things I hate to build this, I confess that. But if we have that book, I wouldn't have to. Imagine how different, how righteous this little world could be if we had the right words for our faith. Well, people would truly understand why they're here and what they're doing, and they wouldn't need any of the uglier motivations. It's not right to keep that book hidden away. It's meant to be shared with others. It's meant to be spread. Is that what you want? with all my heart and soul. I always believed that I'd find a place where this book belonged, where it was needed.
Now, in this clip from the book of Eli, doesn't he sound familiar? Doesn't he sound like a group of people who say they want to take certain texts and spread it to everyone? It should be for everyone. We should share. But then they take the information for themselves and they hide it. And then they come out with books and movies and, let's say, maybe even college courses that surround these type of things. And it's written backwards. It's in reverse. It's completely different than how the original text. Y'all see what I'm getting at here?
1945, a farmer finds several sealed earthenware jars containing 13 leather-bound papyrus books in Egypt. These secretly hidden books are about to change the way we look at human history. These secret books were written by early Gnostic Christians, and they contained information about how the human race was genetically modified to steer evolution in a certain direction. These texts describe a race of extraterrestrial reptilian creatures known as Archons, who had ruled the planet for many centuries. In almost every ancient culture, we find the descriptions of these serpent-like beings. In India and other parts of Southeast Asia, these creatures are called Nagas. But what is so intriguing is that these secret books referred to the so-called Garden of Eden as a complex genetic engineering lab where these reptilian Archons had tried to genetically mutate the human race so that they could evolve in their own image.
Now, I do have to say that I completely believe that we all evolved from somewhere, right? We all came from something, whether it be from the clay of the earth or some type of being, I don't know. Some people say that, people arrive from dogs and monkeys and maybe even sea dragons. Who knows? But this clip kind of reminded me of that, how we all just kind of come from somewhere. Do I believe this in particular story? Maybe, but it may not be in the exact way it's being told here. But who knows? I mean, this stuff could have been written and it's the actual truth. And we have no way of knowing. We live in an upside down world.
In Sumerian, he's known as Nikazita, the flying serpent, all these different names. Just like in Greece, he's known as Hermes. In Rome, he's known as Mercury, Odin. If you go to the Library of Congress, there's two gigantic doors. And they have Thoth, the Atlantean, on one side, and Odin on the other. They know who this guy is. 54,000 BC is when he was ruling over the land of Chem. I call him Thoth.
So this video is just another example of, let's say, all the different things or interpretations, I should say, of the different cultures and how people have seen the same thing, but they call it something different. Or how something has miraculously gained a new name over time, or the name was changed over time to fit a particular text or fit a particular narrative. This is what this clip reminds me of with Thoth.
Things could be true. All of these things are true. They really are. Like, I am one firm believer in knowing astrology ain't no one way, set way of doing nothing. This a pot. This your cauldron pot, honey. This a tool. It's your cauldron pot. You better put everything in there, mix that thing. You better create that alchemy and do it as you wish. As long as you're utilizing the power of these stars and these planets and these movements under the jurisdiction in which they govern. Powers to be do it. So do I think your Super Bowls was lined up when all of these things was at the critical degree on the western side, 0 degree Aquarius.
So what do y'all think? I definitely think that, you know, the powers that be, the elite, those who shall not be named, do rituals. Now, of course, these things happen probably all the time, not just on major events, but definitely during major events.
You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
So Prince said it best, right? Absolutely love Prince, okay? And I think in a little bit of a way, he tried to get us straight, okay? He tried with all of his cues and, you know, his little, you know, innuendos. I think that he was really trying to fill us in on a few things. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. And please hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel so you can join me next time. Stay healthy and stay wealthy.